to their manipulations, to millennia of shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world blackened and corpse-choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about moving themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods. Because of worship, their real ambition all too clear. Yet an outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing the triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believe they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me, now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood? Where are they? What of Aureus and the abhorrent, umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in foresight and obfuscating shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you with true words and open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones. Listen to me. Stop this before you allow yourself to condemn all of mankind for eternity. I am not your enemy, only what my own enemies fear. The loss of the dominion they have established for themselves in my absence. Cease your misguided violence. I look upon you with pity, my lost child, for you have been deceived and enslaved by forces who regard you as nothing more than an instrument through which they might enact their blasphemous will and prevent my rightful return.
Is this finally the end? Did I finally do it? The light of the Umbra lamp knows no satiation, consuming even a god. Aureus's will, done by heresy-tainted champion, rewarded only with annihilation. With renewed influence, Aureus unleashes his radiance to purify those deemed transgressors. In light, they fall. Lords of the Fallen. I reached the radiant ending. I have reached the credits of Lords of the Fallen. I can't believe it. I just loaded up this game because I just wanted something to do with my hands while I was listening to a podcast, not thinking for even 1 second that I was gonna get through that absolute garbage, random nonsense boss fight. And I finally did. I think that was my second attempt on the night. And I hadn't even loaded the game probably for a month before this. I am so glad this is over. It's been nagging me so much that I hadn't finished this final boss fight of this game to finish out my video series. Even though I have probably the second half of this game, I have not enjoyed it very much, but I just kept playing it because I didn't have anything else to play. And now I do have other things to play. I am sort of half-heartedly going through the Elden Ring DLC. That's the main thing, really. I've sort of dabbled with some other games, but nothing serious. But yeah, it's just been nagging me this whole time that I haven't finished. I haven't been able to finish off Lords of the Fallen, and I was dreading coming back to this last boss fight because I hated it so much. I don't know what I recorded in the way of commentary previously, but my thoughts have been that I hated it. I hated it so much because the entire fight was based around randomness. Like, literally every time I got killed, it was because I got hit by a fireball from behind or from the side or from someplace I couldn't see where it was coming from. Every single time it was random. It was just a test of endurance to see how much patience you had to withstand getting killed repeatedly by random chance, completely outside of your control. I think once or twice I tried to find some better fire resistance, but I gave up on that. I had some consumables to give me fire resistance, but every time I tried them, it never seemed to help. I don't know what it is with this game, but fire resistance just doesn't seem to do anything. I was wearing pretty much the maximum amount of fire resistance gear that I could find. But anyway, hated that last boss fight. But I'm so glad it's over, so I can put an end to this video series. I can uninstall this game finally, make room for some other games. Coming up is, possibly Elden Ring DLC. I'm not really into it, to be honest. I've only played about 5 hours of it so far. I Elden Ring is not as good as the 3 Dark Souls games. I'm sorry to say that, but it's just a very different kind of game. There's a lot more just sort of wandering around aimlessly in Elden Ring than any of the Dark Souls games. So it just feels like a lot of my time is just kind of pointless wandering around. So it's hard to get excited about it. But that's going to be coming up someday, possibly. I've also got the Hellblade 2. I want to play through that, but I haven't started that yet. Other than that, I honestly have 0 games on my radar for the rest of 2024. Those are the only 2 games on my radar for the rest of the year 2024. But yeah, this has been Lords of the Fallen, the new version. I remember enjoying like the first half of this game, and then at some point it just took a turn into a game of just tons of repetition, tons of random attacks, tons of just sort of suffering through a lot of stuff that just wasn't all that fun. And it just felt like it was just an endless test of endurance more than a fun game. At the beginning, it was a fun game. Toward the end, not so fun. But that is it for Lords of the Fallen. So that will be the end of this video series. So thanks for watching. Good luck if you're playing this game. It's a chore. It's a big chore to get through this game. That's all for now. See you later. I should probably make a note here of my final character. I used the Beast Axe +10, Kukujin Sword +9. Oh, I never did upgrade that to +10. I was wearing the Light Reaper's gear set, which gave me fire resistance. Increased elemental defense from this Ring of Shelter. I don't know if that helps with fire, but it sounded like it would. Smoldering Ring. Increases resistance to burn. Didn't help that much. Paladin's Pendant. Increased strength and endurance attributes. And my character ended up at level 76 in the end. And that was that. I have 30,000 souls to spend, but it hardly matters, and I guess I can go to New Game Plus from this menu if I so desire. By the way, the version that I'm running now is like version 1.5 something. It's got these new things, Crucibles and Echoes of Battle, which lets you replay boss fights or something. I don't know. I don't really understand why anybody would want to do that, but there it is. And that's it. See you later.